What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It is Enter the Lab podcast. We are back as we are 1 week closer to the NFL Combine, but we have also a lot to discuss. Bunch of free agency rumors, bunch of trade rumors, Cooper Cup, Debo Samuels, and many more to be discussed about. Also, look at some of the team needs for our favorite teams. So buckle up. Let's go ahead and get ready. It's time, and I mean, it is most definitely time to enter the lab. What is up, everybody? It is Enter the Lab podcast presented by Red Zone DC Media. Back again for another episode. It is your boy DT. We got the OGC Henry. Lady E is here taking care of some things, but she will join us shortly. But it's a snowy week for us in the 757. I blame C Henry for bringing all the snow down here. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I hear y'all getting hit with some like 11 inches or something over there, man. It's kind of crazy, man. Y'all looking like the Midwest.
Yeah, I just checked a while ago. We're at 6.5. Yeah, we had 6.5 inches of snow right now.
That's good for all the lawns in the DMV area, man. Y'all getting all y'all irrigation, all that good stuff, man. It'll be good come April or May, man.
Oh yeah, that's crazy because my dad was just talking about this snow gonna be here for a while. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get the talking for this episode. I already miss football, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I
It's
miss
my first
football.
week really, truly, fully missing it, man. And you know what? I feel kind of good because you know what? I hear the talk of all the offseason talk and all that good stuff. I'm seeing folks doing mock drafts and things of that nature. And I'm blessed that we had a little bit of a playoff run, not a run, but went to the playoffs, so I didn't have to worry about that stuff. And I've kind of purposely put it off because I know everything is going to change come next week. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
before I get all my hopes and dreams pinned to one or two players, let me see what they run first. Let me make sure they don't have a problematic stress fracture or something that's going to make them, you know what I'm saying, push them down the board a little bit. So I'm purposely waiting on doing any mocks until after the combine, man. I don't want any paralysis. I'm sorry, paralysis by analysis. So I'm gonna give myself some time.
I mean that's a fair point. I mean I don't blame you. Uh, Not gonna lie to you, it's different around this time, especially for me, because probably around this time I'm sitting here trying to figure out like, oh my god, what we gonna do at quarterback? What we gonna do at quarterback? And for what it looks like, man, JD's the guy. We ain't got no quarterback questions right now. Knock on wood. Um, but I'm very happy for this process. I haven't done a mock draft yet so far because I'm trying to see if we even gonna have the 29th overall pick anyway.
See, people trying to make trades. See, everybody got a lot of things cooking, a lot of things on the stove right now. I'm gonna wait until everything till things get settled a little bit before I start, you know what I'm saying, bringing out my, you know what I'm saying, my cooking utensils.
Yeah. Lady E, what's going on with you?
Nothing. I'm trying to sit over here and finish up things, and yeah, this is my motto all off season.
I see that shirt. Pray with me, don't play with me. Hallelujah.
Y'all hilarious.
That is my motto all off season. So anything about the Falcons, I'm just gonna let y'all and remind y'all, this is who I am.
Lord have mercy.
Okay. So let's all pray together that the Falcons get their stuff together. Other than that, pray with me. Do not play with me about my team. All right.
Ah, boy, y'all already started early. So let's go ahead and get into the start of conversation. So obviously, there has been. This is around the time where we hear a bunch of trade rumors, bunch of player potential movement, and things of that nature. We already seen one move. Obviously, there is conversations, which more than likely that T. Higgins will be tagged by the Cincinnati Bengals heading into this new offseason. Now, want to remind everybody, if I'm not mistaken, he got tagged last year, somewhere around this time. So, with Joe Burrow coming out to multiple media outlets discussing about how important T. Higgins is to their championship outlook for the Cincinnati Bengals, also trying to pay a Trey Hendrickson, also trying to pay Jamar Chase almost probably 40 plus million is what everybody's expecting we'll get out of him. What is the outlook for T. Higgins for the free agency market and for the Bengals? Because time that amount of money up, the two wide receivers, that just doesn't. I mean, I get it when it comes to like the Eagles. Yes, the Eagles have paid both of their wide receivers, but I think it was also the right timing to pay those guys as well. And they are able to manufacture moves to accommodate for what they're missing, to accommodate for in plan of the future. Not every team can move like that. And we have seen from Cincinnati for the past couple of years that defense that they had that led to the 2021 Super Bowl, they had started to falter, which led to them firing their defensive coordinator. So, what are y'all thoughts on this T. Higgins situation in Cincinnati?
Well, you are correct. This is his second consecutive season. I really think that Cincinnati, because one, I know some people were saying that Chase won't probably get a lot of money. Either that probably he missed his mark to be able to get the maximum that he can possibly get with that. So I think they're kind of looking at that with T, because again, you gotta pay Jamar, you gotta pay Jamar Chase. Like, so I think right now the Cincinnati Bengals didn't do right financially when it came down to having two superstar wide receivers. Yes, we have seen the Eagles pay. Yes, we have seen plenty of teams play their wide receivers. I mean, look at CeeDee Lamb with the Cowboys. They went ahead and paid him. Now Parsons is kind of like, hey, what's up? They got Dak's deal done at the same time. We all know about QB money. So we've seen these wide receivers and QBs all in one mix get paid. So I'm not sure exactly what Cincinnati's holdup is when it comes down to it. I don't know if they're trying to make the decision. Should they pay T? Should they pay T this? Should they pay Jamar? Like, I don't know if they're still trying to do that back and forth and kind of see what would be the best financial investment for the most money moving forward, which I'm saying give it to Chase. But T is still that guy too. Burrow wants both of them. But I think he kind of made it obviously known too as well that he prefers that to keep Chase there. So again, I think they're just trying to look at all aspects and trying their best right now to figure out what they can do. But I think they want to keep both. But I don't know if that's affordability. We're all about budgeting in 2025. I don't know if that's going to be on their budget plan to afford both.
So I think you guys, make some great points. Lady E, like you've pointed out, and DT, like you pointed out, we've seen other teams do it. We've seen Philadelphia do it. We've seen other teams load up on players, and maybe not on all one side of the football, but eventually, if you draft well, if you have the success, your goal is to hopefully be able to pay these guys. Now, I know Burrow has definitely expressed that he wants both of these guys back. Now, what I haven't heard, and maybe there is some background conversations going on how much money that he may, want to defer from his huge contract, because T and Jamar, they're gonna get paid, but they ain't gonna get paid no Burrow money. So if you really want to have both the usage of both of these great athletes, what are you willing to possibly give back in the contract? And it was funny because we saw I guess there was a tweet from T. Higgins' mom, and she just kind of said, saying selfish. And it was funny because that came out like a couple of days before we heard that that Jamar wanted the $40 million. I think that for them to keep everyone together, I think it is possible. but it's maybe not probable without without all three of those players or one of those players giving some money back or taking a back seat. You know, I think with Jamar coming out saying that he wants 40 off rip, that kind of upset a few folks. I think he's definitely earned the right to be the number one paid receiver, but by $4 or $5 more million is a little bit of a stretch. I don't know how this is going to work out. Again, you know, we've paid some players. Maybe they have a creative GM over there who can put the numbers together. It is possible, but is it probable? We haven't seen the Cincinnati Bengals be a big time spender all of my lifetime for the most part. So they have a decision to make, because this was a era where they did have a pretty good drafting period. You got a Burrow, you got T, you got Chase. You want to keep those guys together, but do you feel confident enough in your drafting going forward, knowing that you're not going to be the biggest player on the free agent market year in, year out if you lock up all four of these players? So eager to see what happens, and hopefully, you know, if they can't accommodate everybody, maybe Trey Hendrickson will find his way to Detroit. You know, we'll help him out. We'll house him for a couple of years.
You see how he had to slide that in there.
I'm just saying, man. You know, I know y'all want Miles. We can't get Trey.
DC, baby.
You can't get Trey.
We'll get him some gumbo. Get him some mumbo sauce. Get him some. Man, I'm telling you.
Yo, now I mean, again, T technically. Here's the thing. Wide receivers, we all know you can go get you a good wide receiver and everything in the draft. We all know that. But a lot of teams who are on that we gotta win now plan, technically, are looking for a T. Now, the issue is T more likely probably want to stay with Cincy, probably. But if we're really thinking about it, what team would not want to pay him the money that he's asking for him to come play for their team? Let's be real here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand where you're coming from with, like, hey, that 40 mil may be a stretch. It may be a stretch for Cincinnati, but if you're looking at a team like Detroit, they might say, hey, how much more do you want? How much guarantee do you want? You know, even with the Commanders, how much money do you want? You know, different things like that. Or even with any other team. I'm just using y'all two because I know y'all two have been talking about it, you know? So at the end of the day, when you said what?
He tried to talk. He tried to respond.
I want to ask one quick question while you was going. Now, you said who's not going to pay Jamar or T the money they want?
No, T. I mean, shoot, anybody would throw the money at Jamar, just like if when Jettis was going through his situation, a lot of people were willing to throw the money that he wanted to get him. That's what I'm saying. The market for wide receivers for some teams that are in that win now mode, they'll probably pay whatever he's asking for to get him there. Now, is that a good financial move? No, that's not for some teams. But if they're looking at that win now mode, that's going to be their best move if they're really looking for a wide receiver.
Let me ask y'all something. Because I done heard, I think the tag right now is 26, 27 million. I done heard 30 million for T. Higgins and all that good stuff. 2020, 908 yards and 6 touchdowns. 2021, 1,091 yards, 6 touchdowns. 2022, 1,029 yards, 7 touchdowns. 2023, 656 yards, 5 touchdowns. 2024, 911 yards, 10 touchdowns. No season he's completed. No season he's played more than 14 games. He's got 2 years of 11 games or less. 1 season of double-digit touchdowns. Reliability ain't there. I know he's been the number 2 receiver for the most part to Jamar Chase, so that may be suppressing the numbers. But again, though, like, has he truly, like, are we talking about what he's earned or what we project him to be as possibly a number 1 receiver? And I ask this because he gives me, I like the talent. I love the talent, physical build, all that good stuff. But when we look at the numbers, he gives me a little bit of Ridley. He was a guy who started his career as a number 2 receiver with Julio, had a little bit of a good year. And people always say, well, what if we make him the number 1? What if we put him on that pedestal and make him that number 1? He give me a little Julio. Is there any type of reservation
Hold on,
if you will, that you have?
look, let me pull my sleeves back for this.
Now you better make sure. Now you better make sure that elbow is moist. Now you know they'll get on you on this neck.
I'm nothing to blame, but no. So I'm gonna say this about Ridley. And if you kind of follow Ridley at Alabama, Ridley is one of those wide receivers that I say is throw the ball and let him catch it. He's a good route runner now. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But the problem with Ridley that what did not make him a number one receiver for Atlanta was when you're dealing with Matt Ryan is going to put the ball where he wants you to get it. If that's in the middle of the field, to the side, to a defender, he expects you to beat that defender. Ridley he liked playing with the first down yard line, running back and forth, basically trying to avoid the contact. He wasn't that Julio where I'm a bully you and I'm a truck you, I'm a tackle you. You know what I'm saying? That was never Ridley's game. I am proud of what I'm seeing from him playing on these other teams, but for the Falcons, when we needed him to be that number one, he just was not that number one. Now, T. Higgins has had injury problems too in the past. As like you said, he has not finished that. But again, who's to say that a change of scenery sometimes cannot help that? It could be, I'm not saying he's faking injury, but it could be the strength and conditioning over there is probably not as great as probably another team's that strength and conditioning can be. So I'm not going to all out and say that I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt because the Jaguars took a chance on Ridley, and then now the Tennessee Titans think that he's good over there. He's fine. You know, yes, can T probably play number one? He can, but you just have to see. He has to end up in a good situation. We don't know if Cincinnati even is a good situation for him, but we have to see what situation he is. What scheme does he fit with another team? You never know. The scheme might be a little bit too much for his body to be able to take, hence the injuries. But if he goes to somewhere that helps preserve him a little bit, I mean, I'm just going to look at the Commanders. They got Scary Terry over there. Probably putting him over there and pairing him with
that's my thing, though. Now are we paying 30, 32, 33 million dollars for wide receiver twos? $30 million for wide receiver twos?
Depending on how desperate you are, honey.
So here's my thing, and I'm gonna have two things to say. One, when you were reading off those numbers, outside of the under 700 and under 900 yard seasons, his numbers almost sound very similar to a Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, with no quarterback and no number one receiver though for Terry. Yeah. I'm gonna shoot Terry a little bit. But go ahead though.
And so another thing about this T. Higgins conversation, it brings some semblance to what the conversation we had last year about Brandon Ayuk. Yes, Brandon Ayuk had a ridiculous year, but we did not see him in that same tiers of a CeeDee Lamb, of a Jettis, of a Tyreek. Quite frankly, now you also got to look at how that system has looked. Yes, he was injured, but also we just seen Juwan Jennings had a 1,000-yard season in San Francisco. So that kind of tells you when it comes to that type of offense. So I think T. Higgins is a good wide receiver. I don't see him as a guy that I would pay $30+ million. That's just me. I see him more as, like you said, like a higher tier wide receiver 2 that will go in and complement the wide receiver 1. And I think that's okay. Mm-hmm. We know with the wide receiver market, it has been with the amount of money it's being thrown at to pay these guys. And I think right now in this situation, me personally, I understand both sides of it for Cincinnati. Yes, you want to keep T. Higgins because you feel like he's going to help you on this championship run. And quite honest with you, Cincinnati, despite always starting off slow, they still had, once again, another chance to get in the playoffs if not for the slow start. Yeah. Now, however, the question is going to be for Cincinnati, what are you going to do to accommodate for a defense that's been depleting on that side of the ball. Also losing your starting running back, you traded him to the Texans, and your run game has been up and down. You need a RB1 to go with a Chase Brown. Zach Brown also got injured, and to fix this offensive line as well. The offensive line still has a bunch of question marks. Yes, they drafted Amarius Mims in the first round last year. Yes, they put a lot of money in that O-line, yet they still can't figure things out. So it's just a lot of things to question about what's going on with Cincinnati.
I will say this though, I do like who's the guy who kind of picked up the Chase Brown. I'm gonna say Chase Brown, the running back from Illinois. I think they found a RB1 there. They won't have to pay him, and I think he was like a 5th or 6th round draft pick from a couple years ago. So they got a couple years for him on the cheap. Looks like they have roughly $53 million in cap room. So they do have some room to make some moves. You know what I mean? But interesting to see what they do and how Mr. Burrow moves his money around, if he does any type of money movement around to kind of accommodate getting all 3 of those guys back. And again, if you want to let somebody go, hey, Trey Henderson, you got a home in Detroit, brother. Holler out.
This man. No. But speaking of Mims, this is my last thing on Cincinnati, and then we'll move on. I really don't think Mims was actually a good fit for them, to be perfectly honest. But that's
you better stop talking bad about them Bulldog. I know you didn't.
No, I prefer Mims. He's like a Pittsburgh tackle to me. I preferred him in Pittsburgh, to be honest. I didn't really like
Pittsburgh. Why Pittsburgh over what we talking about Cincinnati?
I think just the scheme fit to me with Pittsburgh just didn't sit right, because even when they drafted him, I was just like, So yeah, that's just me. And then too, unfortunately, he's been hurt this year too, so he really hasn't got a full-fledged welcome to the NFL just yet. But that's neither here nor there. I just didn't see that fit when I seen it. But we're gonna see. I'm gonna give it a chance. Other than that, let my Bulldog baby go.
All right, so another topic at hand with the wide receiver conversation, we have Deebo Samuel and Cooper Kupp looking to more than likely be on the move via trade, or if not, being released. So, if you were a team, which player would you rather have? Would you rather have Cooper Kupp, or would you rather have Deebo Samuel?
Give me Cooper Kupp. Deebo Samuel to me is like an oversized running back, but I digress.
Why everybody keeps saying that?
I mean, what?
The man is only about 5'10", 215. Y'all just like he's just like an oversized running back. He's around there at 260.
He's an oversized running back to me. I mean, I thought you would have thought that his role would kind of more improve when Brandon Ayuk going down a little bit over there in the 49ers, but it really stays stagnant. I mean, it's been stagnant like this for the past 2 seasons now. So, I mean, give me Cooper Kupp. At least I get something. At least I can get me something,
That's an interesting conversation. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm trading for I'm not trading for either one of them. Let me just say that right now. They would have to be cut to be on my squad, and would have to pick them up through free agency. I do like Deebo. I think that Deebo, he had one great year. The one year we had like 1,400 receiving, then you throw in the 300 or 400 yards he had in gadget yards. He had a great year. But overall, his career, we're looking at a guy who consistently misses games with some injuries, but also as a receiver, he's consistently between a 700 and 900 yard receiver. He's consistently on that wide receiver 2/wide receiver 3 in terms of statistical output. Now, if you put in the gadget plays and things of that sort, he becomes a little bit more valuable. I understand that he's made comments and things in the past that maybe he doesn't want to play that role. I think that lessens his value. When San Francisco made the decision to bring in CMC and use him kind of primarily in that role, and they were able to find subsequent backups for him, I think that also cut down on his usage in their offense. And now you see the more polished wide receivers, if you will, the Juwan Jennings, the Ayuk have more success through the passing game, and they're not using him in the gadget plays, and we're not seeing the statistical success of Deebo. But if you ask me which one of those 2 players I want, I think Deebo probably offers a little bit more upside right now. Cooper Kupp looked a little washed to me last year. I don't know if he was injured or what, but in an offense that seemed to be tailored for the pass catchers, he had a tremendous amount of chemistry with Stafford in years past. Just seemed like something was missing, and if he wasn't injured, then I'm thinking he may be a little bit close to being over the hill. So give me a Debo who's willing to do all the dirty work and be a wide receiver 2, a wide receiver 3 for me on the release.
I can see it from that perspective.
Okay. When it comes to this, both players have had a very detailed paperwork of injuries and missing a lot of games. Also, both players, if you want to have this debate, have really had one big outstanding year and then follow up with a couple of mid-tier or average seasons.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a person to choose, it's slightly tough, but I think I would lean with Debo because I think the injuries are catching up a little bit more to a Cooper Kupp than a Debo Samuels. I understand Debo doesn't want to play that role that he was doing with the 49ers, but I think sometimes, man, when this is what my granddad say, when you got a gift, use it.
That's it.
When
That's
you have a gift,
special.
use it. And I think that's Debo's gift. He is a versatile chess piece. And obviously, if putting the Commanders side with it, he's played with Adam Peters and 49ers. That's the most obvious connection. I believe wherever team, because there's been multiple reports talking about there are teams interested in Debo. I think we're going to get a more motivated Debo Samuels coming into whatever new location you have, a new change of scenery, trying to change his name and things like that. I still think he offers the juice, like you said, C. Henry. Yards after the catch is his special gift. Getting yards after the catch, wherever it's a carry, jet sweep, bubble screen, slants, and stuff like that. He's not the most, from my perspective, like the most refined route runner like we see in the top 5 receivers, but he's still someone that can get you 600, 700, 800 yards on an NFL team, and that will benefit if you have a good wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and to your motivation part, I think he's going to be very motivated because a lot of these folks have elevated, opinions of themselves. And when he figures out that a lot of folks aren't going to be out here trying to trade for that contract, or, they're going to be asking San Francisco to, pay some of the money back, or the compensation isn't going to be where he thinks it is, I think that's going to be somewhat humbling. And again, if they don't find any takers, him getting cut, I think is going to be somewhat, humbling. But he'll be okay.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, again, I really want to see him outside of a Shanahan scheme anyway.
Yeah.
To see exactly what he can do, because if it could have been a scheme holding him back. If he finds somebody else to where if he can get out of that wide receiver 2/3 type mindset and be more of that wide receiver 2. Then yeah, but again, I just still see him kind of like in that gadget role, kind of like how we use Cordero when he was with the Falcons. I do kind of see that as well. So I mean, it's kind of one of those things. Cordero was the wide receiver, but as soon as he came to the Falcons and had that role of him being that RB and using that, I mean, you see more yards, more money. Right. So I mean. I do agree. He is going to have to probably look at it that way. You might just have to be that gadget player to be able to get your money, but to be able to get more involved in there. But too, the key of the matter is stay healthy.
Yeah,
got to stay healthy.
Definitely stay healthy. One last trade rumor is the biggest one. Myles Garrett. Cleveland is Cleveland's in a mess, y'all.
Hold on, I'm gonna put this back up here since Slim said this.
Yeah.
Trying to manifest. They're trying to manifest over there.
Yeah, exactly.
So Cleveland is in a rux. Deshaun Watson, 2 torn Achilles in a span of maybe 4 to 5 months.
Did they say how that second one happened? Did they say?
Everybody real coy on that. Everybody real quiet on that. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's like a old girl from Fox. We ain't heard nothing about nothing.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Yo. Come on, man.
I'm just saying. It's quiet on the front, baby. What up, Joy?
Anyway, so Cleveland is at the number 2 pick. They are in dire need of a quarterback. Could they get a veteran? Yes. Kirk Cousins, Steven Stefanski reunion possible? Yes. But I still think they need to draft a guy for the future. Would you do it at 2? That remains to be seen. But there are also some other spots they need to address as well, as that roster, when they had Baker Mayfield, they were going through that window of trying to get to the Super Bowl. There's a lot of players coming up on those contracts, rookie deals and things like that, mainly on the offensive line, and also some spots needs to be added. So, if you're Cleveland, why not trade Myles Garrett? That's the question I asked for y'all.
So I'm gonna say this: Cleveland is already at this point that they have had terrible success in quarterbacks. Even with Deshaun Watson. Even with him coming in, a lot of people expected that same Deshaun that we had and that we saw, respectfully, back in Houston. You see, Henry, I'm gonna put you on timeout. So we not gonna. I'm gonna just put you on timeout because I know you're gonna say something, so I'm already gonna put you on timeout. But so I'm just saying. But no, we didn't get the Cleveland. Unfortunately, I really want to say kind of got a little bamboozled a little bit because they didn't get who they thought they were getting when they traded for him and gave up all those picks and gave him all that money. And I think right now it is in Cleveland's best interest. I wouldn't want to keep a guy who really doesn't want to be there. That's number one. I'm not going to say Myles Garrett is not going to play, but I wouldn't want to keep a guy that doesn't really want to be there. And then 2, I will try to get some of them picks back. I will try to get some more money too to be able to get into some of this off season and try to rebuild, like find his replacement. See what you can do. I mean, might find Deshaun's, because again, you're going in with no quarterback. DTR got hurt too. I don't know. I forgot the extent of his injury, but DTR got hurt.
It's time for Jameis again.
I don't think they want Jameis. That's the problem. I mean, they can't be choosers either. I'm going to say that as well, because I promise you, you come over here to us Falcons and want Kirk Cousins, we going to want some picks, honey. We ain't got that many picks in the draft. So we going to want some picks for some Kirko chains and some money. Okay? So we'll be gladly to get you in, give them to you, but we want our picks and we want some money because we don't want to take on his contract. We kind of we pretty broke and disgusted right now. I ain't even gonna lie to you, okay? We in the red. So
Crazy.
That's y'all lot.
No, we really in the red. We really
$5 million. That's y'all lot.
Yeah, we in the red, honey. So it's like at this point, what more can Cleveland do? Well, keeping a Myles Garrett, and then you go get another quarterback, but then you're stuck with one that's taking up half your cap space. So I feel like right now they're literally in a rock and a hard place to make a decision. But I feel like the decision is you may have to give up Myles Garrett, unfortunately. You may have to.
I'm going to tell you what, whenever you're in a position where you got to give up your best player, you in trouble. You in trouble, man. Andrew Berry, you know what I'm saying? I root for everybody black. I know you over there trying to do your best, but you in trouble, bro. You in trouble. You got a quarterback who can't stay healthy, can't produce on the field. You haven't killed the draft, so these years going by, your depth is being depleted, and now your best player, who probably the only reason most of the fans even show up and give you a shot on Sunday, is now asking out. So, to me, it's a no-win situation. Andrew, this probably be your last year in Cleveland. Whatever you do, you better make it count. If you trade him, you better get a proper return, and hopefully you be allowed to. You won't be dismissed before the draft, and you'll be allowed to maybe, get some talent back to that roster. But at this point, if you don't do something, if you don't get an impressive return and or show some type of progress on the field, Mr. Berry's seat is extremely high. This is a no-win for me. This is a no-win for me. If I'm sitting there in Cleveland, you got a disgruntled player. Everyone is going to be looking at you. Prospective players, guys at the combine are going to look at how you handle the situation. You traded away. You received Judy. You received Judy last year. But again, what is the direction of this team? You have holes offensively. You have holes defensively. Nick Chubb got hurt again. I mean, where are we going with this? So, if I'm Cleveland, I hate to do it, but I'm probably, to your point, Lady E, I'm probably trading him, trying to recoup some of those picks. We keep hearing that it might be 2 number ones, but again, number 1 picks aren't the same. A team picking in the top 15, that pick ain't the same as pick 28, 29, 30. You know what I'm saying? So that may not even be, they may not even see that as a first round pick per se. So with that being said, I'm sorry.
Why you say 28?
Listen, man, let me tell you something, man. It's smart. Phone lines go to every team in the league. You see my arm? They go to every team in the league. They only go one way. They go to every team in the league. Everybody's making phone calls.
He said 28.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody. Hey, Lady E, don't y'all need a defensive end?
I mean, they already talking about.
You didn't even say her number.
Huh?
You didn't even say that number. You said 28.
I said a top 15 pick is different than 28, 29. Now you in the top 15,
right? There you go. You just said it again. You said 20. You said 28 once again. Why are you saying
28 or 29 or 30 is where I think Myles Garrett is going. He's going to the Lions, the Commanders, or the Buffalo Bills. I think the Commanders have the most.
The Bills
definitely have the most cap room, but they also have the least in their cupboard. I know some people don't like to hear that, but I think that's a good thing in this circumstance, because now you can build around Mr. Miles. Everybody else, well, not everybody else. Buffalo, if they make this move, they got to extend them. They're going to lose some of that core next year. Detroit, we get them. We got to extend them. We can possibly lose 1 or 2 of our main core next year. A Kirby Joseph, a Brian Branch, or a J-Mo, or Laporte. I'm sure we're gonna sign Gibbs. But so to me, Washington should be the betting favorite, because I think the other 2 teams have a little bit more to lose down the line. Will they be willing to make that move? I don't know. Let's see what Adam do. We looking at Adam. We trying to see who he is. If is he something special? Is he a superhero, a DC superhero, or is he just another guy? You know what I'm saying? So we got our eye on him.
I kind of started when you said Buffalo. I'll be very shocked. I'll be very shocked if they trade them in the same conference.
Well, you know what? Same conference. I mean, Cleveland's not contending no time soon, unfortunately. Now, I don't think they're gonna trade into the same division, but the same conference. I mean, listen, if Buffalo comes with the best package, we're not gonna say. I shouldn't say we, but I don't think Cleveland's gonna say, you know what? We're going to take 2 or 3 less or a lesser draft pick from a Buffalo because he's in conference than a Washington because he's out of conference. They 2 or 3 years from contending at best. So get what you can, man. Get the most you can, bro.
Okay.
I mean,
now who I didn't say, and I don't want them to get on, and I don't think neither one of us want them to get, is Philadelphia. But how will you do it? How will you make it happen? How we got a couple free agents? Please you take that Josh Sweat money, that Milton Williams money, and drop down.
Sweat saying he's done, or who's actually supposed to be
retiring? Brandon Graham is retiring. So we got Sweat a free agent, Graham retiring, Milton Williams a free agent. I think all that money right there can be wrapped up and given to Miles.
And the thing about it is putting Myles Garrett around them young pups. Key word on young pups.
Yeah. So if y'all don't want that to happen,
you better jump.
if
You
you don't
better
want,
jump
if you
on
don't
it,
want left
Commander.
hand people throwing their hands up all in your videos, Miles Garrett. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want, you know what I'm saying, the executive producers getting your videos since we was doing, you know what I'm saying, old school music today. You know what I'm saying? Come on to Detroit, man. We'll let you shine. We give your own pair of bucks, all that good stuff, man. You can shine on your own, bro. No left hand up, and none of that.
Oh my God, bro, this is nasty.
I didn't say anything. I was just saying, like I was just putting into perspective. I don't think you want Miles Garrett over there with them young pups.
Yeah,
That's all I was
I
saying.
already know, and y'all making me sick in this podcast. I thought about
Just
it.
saying, he only can go one place. That's all I'm saying. You know what
That
I'm saying?
dog on Howie Roseman, I despise him so bad. Oh my God, bro. But to move on for topics, let's go ahead and preview the NFL Combine, which will be next week. There's a lot of discussions about this class, y'all. Obviously, let's go ahead and start off with the ones that always be the bigger topic. Let's talk about the quarterback class. Now, for those that don't follow me on social media and follow me on my podcast, I have did a video dissecting Cam Ward versus Shedeur Sanders. Go ahead, click a like, subscribe, get that. I'll send the link out once again for that. And I think people are going to be in somewhat of a conundrum because, in quite honesty, this class, when you look at it, is not as surplus as last year when you had Caleb Williams, Jada Daniels, Bo Nix, Drake May, Michael Penix, and even JJ McCarthy all coming out. And for all of them, look very good in some of their starts. JJ, he played the preseason, but we'll see. Hopefully in the full season of this upcoming year. So, I'm gonna ask you guys this, and this has been the question I asked: who is y'all QB1 and why?
Out of this class,
Yes. And before you answer, yes, I know more than likely you'll probably say Michael Penix is number one. He was coming out. I just know I can read your mind.
I'm gonna be straight up real honest with you. I like Cam Ward, but I'm not gonna lie. He played too relaxed for me. I don't like that relaxed Mike Vick type play. I'm not like I think I got PTSD from Vick because Vick sometimes did that. He'll sit down there, throw back and throw bam, it's a pick or something, or he'll take off at the last minute and run. But it's too much of a nonchalant type. And I'm like, bro, like you can't do that when you get to the NFL. Like you got, and I'm exaggerating on these poundage, but you got 300-400 pound defensive linemen who got some speed coming at you. Like they gonna want to hurt you. Like you can't do that. I don't like that. And then Shedeur, he's athletic, but he's not athletic enough for me. And then he has to go to a team that won that has a line. The only time I really can see him, and then based off of kind of where the league is now, they like you to run, but they also like you to sit over here and be able to move the pocket, stand in the pocket. You see the blitz, be able to step into it. I don't think Shedeur has all the mechanics really to give me that, So I mean, even with the other ones, baby, them other ones, Jesus. The only one that I can probably see that can probably have both Shedeur and Cam Ward can have some success, but I don't really see them being QB1. This right now is just not. I can't give it to him, but I will say Gabriel from Oregon might have a Bo Nix like type season if he goes to the right team. Might, keyword might, but I just can't. Both of them have some things that they need to work on. In my honest opinion, both of them can definitely be seen as QB1, depending on who you talk to. It's just you're not gonna get that out of me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm still kind of evaluating them. Again, I haven't really done a deep dive. I think they both have kind of suffered a little bit because they didn't play high level football all 3 or 4 years that they were in school. I think, when we look at Cam Ward, he went to Incarnate Word, didn't see much of him there. Washington State, Pac-12, cool, but we didn't see a lot of him. And now he's at Miami, and I think he had a great year. And I really like what I saw, but I do want to see more of him against some of that top-notch caliber. Same thing with Shedeur, Jackson State for a couple of years, and then got Colorado. Love what we know what he put on film. There were times where I saw a little bit of that, that Caleb Williams type situation where he's trying to make some things happen. He probably should have threw the ball away, but hasn't played behind a great line. I think mechanics-wise, I like him a lot. I think he is a well-schooled, well-versed quarterback, but I still want to see a little bit more from these guys in terms of their arm strength, in terms of their accuracy, and how they command, the huddle and the team. Hear great things about both guys, impressed by both guys. To your point, though, I don't think any of them right now have shown that they're like a Jalen type prospect, or not to say they can't be, or a Caleb type prospect. But I'm still looking at those guys and still kind of, trying to evaluate, who they are. But I think some of the other guys, though, may surprise you. Jackson Dart, Kyle McCord. I like Kyle McCord when he threw the ball.
I still don't trust Jackson Dart
at Ohio State. So, and this is the beginning of the process. Last year about this time, we had questions about Penix. We didn't know if JJ was going to be a first-round pick. We didn't know where Bo Nix was going to go. So give us some time. Let these, these evaluators look at him and fall in love, and let the coaches who feel that they can fix something, look at a Jalen Milroe and say, oh, yeah, I can definitely make a star out of him. He looked like a more polished Anthony Richardson. So, we'll see how it goes, man. And these guys will probably be elevated as the draft process plays out.
Got you.
Yeah.
So I once again, I've done a video dissecting both of them. I do have Cam Ward QB1, but I think when I look at,
can I say why? Can you ask why?
Well, obviously the one thing that obviously pop off to me is he has those elite physical traits. He has the arm talent. He has the ability to improvise that's very similar to what Mahomes has done in the NFL. Those are something that will help him if he was to be thrust into a starting role. For Shedeur, even though he doesn't have anything that is physically elite, he plays the position. And I think that what matters. I think for us as people, when we evaluate and talk about quarterbacks, yes, the NFL has changed. Yes, we have guys that run 4-3, 4-4. Yes, we have guys that can run outside the pocket. We have the Josh Allens. We have Lamar. We have Patrick Mahomes. But you still have to play the position. And I think about this quote because I'm watching the Rich Eisen show when Jeremiah was up there. And he brought up a quote about Adam Peters when they drafted Brock Purdy. And this is what a lot of people just don't understand when it comes to Brock Purdy. Yes, Brock Purdy ain't the sexiest quarterback if you were to put him with a Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. But the one thing that he has that can match up with anybody, he plays the position. Mm-hmm. He plays quarterback. He understands. He diagnoses defense pre and post snap. And I think that's what a big benefit for what Shedeur does. Now obviously some people are probably going to switch on, and some people will say Shedeur Sanders QB1. I don't have a problem if you're going to say he's QB1 or QB2. I just think for both of them, and for what Jaden and what CJ have done for the last 2 years as rookie quarterbacks starting, I'm praying for everybody to set your expectations. I'm praying for people to set your expectations because not every organization will do almost the same thing for what the Commanders, what Houston has done. Houston has been building for almost 3 to 4 years, and then boom, they popped off CJ Stroud rookie year. Yes, it was the first year of the Commanders with Jaden Daniels, but what they did, they added 20-plus veteran players. They added guys that won championships. They added a Zach Ertz. They added a Bobby Wagner. They had coaches that were able to coach and get the best out of them. They also had Cliff Kingsbury as well. We also have to give him credit because that's just a perfect match in heaven. I don't know about these teams. Maybe somewhat the Raiders. I like what I've seen the Raiders are doing. They already have a solid O line. They got a couple of pieces, but I don't think they're going to get there. You got the Giants. Giants going to have to win now. Cleveland. What is Cleveland going to do? Tennessee Titans. Like these teams right here, I don't think they can do what they seen the last 2 years because they don't have the resources.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. They're definitely at a cross. Some of those teams you named are definitely at a crossroads. Giants. Mr. Shine, whatever his name is, whatever his name is. He definitely. Looking. I don't want to say looking crazy, because Saquon did his thing in Philadelphia, and then McKinney did his thing in Green Bay. But with that being said, I think he did find two very good players in Malik Neighbors and the running back over there. So maybe he, can maybe find his quarterback this year and they can kind of get the ball rolling. But they're at a key point, year 2 or 3. I think year 3 for him in that role. Teams need to see progress, if not winning. You know what I mean? Same thing with Tennessee. Will Levis. Is Tennessee ready to say, hey, this is our guy and move forward, or are they willing to take one of these quarterbacks somewhere along the line?
Crazy? I'm gonna cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's one thing. I honestly don't think Will Levis is that bad of a quarterback. Does he make mistakes? Yes, but
do you think it was just the system he was in? Because
I think it's because of circumstance.
I think it's a little bit of everything. Who was he throwing the ball to? Who have they drafted? Who's blocking for him? The running back had a pretty decent year, but they let Derrick
Henry go.
Derrick Henry go.
Your GM after 1 year.
I mean, it's who Traylon Burks. That didn't work out for the AJ. That's supposed to be the AJ Brown replacement.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, all this stuff adds up, man. All this stuff adds up. When folks do things well, they add up, hopefully, and then when folks do things wrong, they add up, and you find yourself behind the 8 ball.
That's true.
Yeah, this crazy times, man. Crazy time. So as we get ready for the draft and stuff, we already know about deeper positions. We talked the running back class, tight end class is very deep. Defensive line class is absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So ask you guys this: out of all those groups, which free agency pool of positions is going to be affected the most out of these positions in the draft? Will it be the defensive line? Will it be the running backs? Or will it be the tight ends?
Now, when you say affected, which free agent position would be affected the most? Now, do you mean positively or negatively?
Negatively.
Okay. For me, negatively is going to be always the running back. It's a position with a limited shelf life. Not a great number of free agents on the market, and you always can get one in the draft. You know what I mean? Fresh legs. So to me, if you're a free agent, running back, you a guy like James Cook, he says he wants $15 million. Let's see if he gets it. I'm sure he'll get some money, but let's see if he gets the 15. Are y'all laughing? Or, would they go ahead and, maybe look another direction? But to me, the running backs are always a position who gets basically done the boldest in free agency. But I think that, with so many young, talented edges, there aren't too many edges in free agency. We're talking about free agents. I mean, we're talking about edges, and we're talking about mostly trade targets. We're talking about a Max Crosby, a Myles Garrett. Free agents, Khalil Mack is out here. Who else? And Josh Sweat are probably the top of the free agent pool right now. Joey Bosa may be cut. Again, talking about guys who are a little bit longer in the tooth, had some injuries problems outside of Sweat. Sweat just hasn't been that dominant performer. So after that, it's not really a big pool. So the pool of draftees and that defensive end spot. I think we can see a lot of them go on draft day.
I mean, edge is the most. I do agree with that because edge is one of those positions that is legitimately hard to come by. Once you get one, you get one, and it's like you got to keep them. I mean, it really kind of depends on what the teams are actually going for this year. I really do think that every team needs an edge. If you lose one, if one didn't pan out, I do think that's one of the positions that is always in rotation. That and a running back. Again, I don't really think the wide receiver market is going to be very big. Besides, like, the big names, I think Stephon Diggs is on there too. Amari Cooper is on there too as well. But with the way wide receivers come out, in the draft,
Yeah.
I don't think that will be one of them that will be effective. Defensive line is actually another one. I think it can go either way with the defensive line. I really do. I think you can go find you some good talent, but still pick up a good solid vet as well. But yeah. I feel like the one where I think everybody is going to be grabbing the most, specifically after watching what the Eagles did in the Super Bowl. You already know the NFL is all about what's hot and new because it does stand for not for long as well. So, I think everybody is going to go find and go grab that good, solid defensive lineman. That's why I think the market is very high if the Browns let go of Myles Garrett, but also that edge possession. I haven't really seen or heard that much about the DB. Some people said it's a good DB class with that, but I think some teams who need corners, Falcons, I think that they're looking at that too, but I don't know if there's any good, CBs and safeties. Justin Simmons got to go. So yeah.
What? Justin Simmons got to go?
He got to go.
Damn. See how they do Pro Bowl players? See how they do them?
I don't give a damn. He got to go. He wasn't very Pro Bowl-ish on that back end. He made Jesse look bad.
He said, "Go out there and make a play with no pass rush." Then you go out there and make a play with no pass rush.
He was the pass rush. Look, he was the pass rush. Dang it.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? I would not surprise me if there's maybe like 10 defensive linemen taken in that first round. I think 1/3 because there's a lot of need for edge. You got to get after the quarterback, and then like you said, definitely a copycat league. You got all these dynamic quarterbacks coming into the league or who are already here, and basically getting them off this spot and disrupting them is basically their kryptonite. So I can see a lot of defensive linemen going in this draft.
Yes, and that's a good segue because this is a copycat league. We just watched the Super Bowl where the Philadelphia Eagles not even singly called a single blitz against Patrick Mahomes, and their defensive line wreaked havoc, which led to them from Super Bowl win. So I'm going with the defensive line, and specifically the defensive tackle position, because when you look at this free agency class, outside of when you're looking at those young guys, just them young guys, I know we got a BJ Hill, I know we have Austin Johnson, just to name a few. But when you have a guy like Milton Williams, also Iguodala from Dallas, those are the top guys coming off those rookie deals. Outside of that, it's really going to be looking bare. And this draft class has legit almost 10 to 15 guys that could go day one and day two.
Okay. Yes, sir.
You can't lead, man. And everybody want to talk about edge pressure, but you get that pressure up the middle, you helping someone else make money.
Yes, sir. You know, and we got a couple. I gotta shout out a couple of these guys, man. That defensive line you just talked about, defensive tackle.
Go ahead,
Deion Walker. Got to shout out Deion Walker, man.
Okay.
Detroit's own young man about to make his dream come true.
Hey, look, I thought he was
Aztecs on players, man. Detroit stand up. Derek Harmon, Also a product of the Detroit Public School League, man. Went out to Oregon. Actually, we started off at Michigan State, then went out to Oregon, having a great year. Also, man, going to be a guy who's probably going to be drafted in day 1 and day 2. So definitely, man, give it up for the young boys from the city. Y'all almost made it, baby. Don't do nothing stupid. Don't do nothing stupid. Y'all almost made it, baby.
I mean, I will shout out one from the city, but I'm good on him.
Wait a minute. How you gonna point out the lack of the shout out? How you?
Look, I'm just saying. I mean, look, I mean,
I would, but I'm good.
Because he's technically not, and on top of that, my son's school beat his old school in the playoffs, so that's why they're state champs. So, hopefully we'll see if he goes and become the first overall draft pick, because that will give Colin Hills a little bit of bragging rights, even though, like I said, their bragging rights are null mute. Shout out to Grayson High School. And shout out to some of them Grayson boys. I know they do have a couple of people that are actually coming in for freshman years. So hopefully we'll see a couple of them, see a little bit more of them in the league as well. Representing that Gwinnett County, the largest school district, representing them. Yes.
Encourage the young people. Man.
We're definitely encouraging the young
Kobe
people.
Kobe King, CT stand up. Jalen Reed, Penn State safety.
I mean, look. I know. DT got some local guys.
I'm about to say, I know he do.
Yeah,
I know you got some local guys that represent.
Shout out to Travion Henderson from Hopewell, Virginia, and shout out to Mike Green from Williamsburg, Virginia. So shout out to number one.
Mike Green he's getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah, he's getting too much buzz.
That's what I said.
That was my guy. So let's go ahead and round it up. Let's talk about our team needs through free agency and the draft. Let's start with the Detroit Lions. See, Henry, what are some needs you'll be looking that Brad Holmes will be trying to cook up this offseason?
Yeah, man, everything that we just talked about, man. Defensive end, we need somebody opposite Aiden Hutchinson. We need some depth there as well. We definitely got ravaged this last year. Defensive tackle, Aleem McNeil tore his ACL up later in the year, so we don't know. We're probably expecting him to start the year off on the PUP list. Don't know if he's going to play, 12 to 8 or 12 games this year. So definitely need some depth up there in the front again. Defensive line, and I like, me personally, I'm not ready for Terrion Arnold to see the field as a cornerback one yet. I like what he did last year, but I still think he needs another year of growth. So I would like to get a cornerback one. I don't know if we keep Carlton Davis or we go out after somebody else, but those are the biggest needs for me. We got to tighten up our offensive line, solid offensive line, but Glasgow, our offensive guard, had a little bit of slippage this year, and Kevin Zeitler is a free agent. So we got our eyes on the trenches on both sides of the ball and the cornerback one, in my opinion.
All right. Lady E, what are some needs that you think the Atlanta Falcons will be addressing this offseason?
Everything.
Dang.
Everything. Just everything.
Cool. Kevin Hart.
Look. The only thing we ain't going to be addressing is quarterback. So everything. Technically, they need another wide receiver. I don't know what they're going to do with Kyle Pitts. Penix did say that he wants to try to get the bottom pick, so I think Penix want to keep Kyle Pitts. He could be on the chopping block. We could be in the market for another tight end. As far, I don't know. We got to pay Dahlman, so I don't know if they'll be in the market for probably finding another center. We also have to get our replacement left tackle because Jake Matthews is on his way out the door. I prefer another right tackle because that's protected Penix blind side. So we need to probably solidify that up too as well, because I don't think a lot of people trust McGarry, but we're going to see. What else? That's just that. So, did I say we need another wide receiver too? We still going to need another wide receiver out there as well with that. It's not going to hurt to get you another one. I mean, don't get me wrong, the replacements that we had, Mooney and even Ray, they did good, but you still need a good, solid two on the other side of Drake. You still need to get
a solid edge.
Look, I'm finna go to the defense because I need a whole new defense.
I ain't know he was on both sides of the ball.
Look, that's what I said. Look, I need a defensive line. I need me some linebacker. I need me some edges. I need me another corner on the other side of AJ, and I need me another safety. So yeah, everything.
How long your GBM been there? How long you been working?
You got to think. So
Fontenot,
I ain't trying
right?
to make this. Yeah, I mean,
Another
yeah.
Fontenot.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This was technically last season was Fontenot's first year actually being a.
I remember.
Yeah.
We're shocked at that episode.
Yeah. He the first 3 years that he was with us, unfortunately, he wasn't able. Yeah, because remember he was on with Arthur Smith 3 years. That he technically was reporting to Rich McKay. And Rich McKay was the one kind of making those decisions. It just Terry was that that's we're doing it. So this was actually Terry's last season. This will be his second season actually with him being a GM fully and not part-time half or not really being a GM. So hopefully, I don't think he did bad. A lot of people question everything, especially with the Kirk Cousin moves and stuff like that. Me personally, as far as draft, where we're struggling to hit on certain picks is like around the third round, fourth, and I think that third, fourth round we're struggling. We're good in fifth round, but it's just that third and fourth round that he's kind of struggling with finding that talent. Sometimes hit and miss on the second round, but
how my boy do? Y'all got a Detroit boy down there from River Rouge, Okararo, defensive tackle.
Okay. You mean a Rockaro? Okay.
There we go. Rockaro.
Rook. No.
How did he do last year?
Yeah, no, he did very well. He's actually going to be a good piece moving forward. Doing that. I know Trice was kind of hurt.
Trice, yeah.
So we really didn't get an opportunity to really see him with that. And then Helms, he got hurt earlier in the season too, so we didn't really get to have him on there to kind of really see. Again, I forgot to mention. Either they might get rid of Grady, so I don't know. They might cut him, bring him back.
Grady's still out there collecting checks. Grady been out there collecting them checks for a minute now, baby.
But Grady don't have no help. He ain't had no help in a minute either. So I'm not 100% sure how that one is gonna work with him. So we're gonna figure that out. But yeah, again, to answer your question, DT, everything besides the QB.
That was just a nasty response.
She gonna need about four carts at Audis.
Look! It ain't even about 4 carts at Audi. And then what makes matters worse, we ain't even got that many picks. So I don't even know really what we're gonna do because we got too many holes, not enough picks, and we broke. What they say, domino? That's basically what it is, a domino.
Not somebody.
Yeah, look, we bad.
We're gonna say have a little word of perfect, Terry. We know how this goes. Come on, Terry. Come on, Terry. You better get something together, Terry. We praying for you.
And then according to my season ticket holders, they done went up on the prices on the season ticket. So there's another little.
What? Okay. No, I'm just.
look, that's what they asking.
This is crazy, bro.
Yeah, look, the Falcons is just we bad. We horrible.
It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
Look,
be all right. You know what I'm saying? We 2 for 3 in the playoffs. It's on you this year, baby.
Look, it's on me, all right. I'm happy.
Trying to have an end of the lab playoff edition. The whole squad's up in there, speaking into existence, baby.
Right now, we some dead birds. That's what we is right now. We some dead birds. A caw, my ass. Oops, excuse me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so for Washington, the number one need for me is to address both trenches on both sides of the ball. Yes, offensive line was solid, but Sam Cosby is going to be out for probably the first half of the season, so you're going to have to find someone that could be a spot starter. Maybe if there's a tackle in free agency that they love, yes, they could probably shift the line a little bit. You got to think about getting the best 5 out there. Obviously, the defensive line, you need to find a edge rusher. That's going to be the number one guy on that defensive front. Also, interested to see what they do at the defensive tackle position. Is Jonathan Allen a potential cut candidate? You could save $16 million if he is released. Payne, I know a lot of people talk about Deron Payne, but I don't see him getting released based on his cap hit. Number 2, you got to get some playmakers around Jaden. What he did last year was very spectacular, but it's now time to find some shape or form a wide receiver or a tight end that can complement in the passing game. And you need to get a RB1. I think I seen the other day one of our reporters went out there and said, do not be surprised if the running back they draft, they didn't say sign, he literally said draft, will be RB1 heading into camp. So that's going to be something to see which running back they prefer in this Cliff Kingsbury scheme. And third need, man, I would actually look at trying to get some depth in the corner, get another corner opposite of Sandersfield and Lattimore, and also getting a linebacker outside of Bobby Wagner to learn and grow under him so he can take the mantle next year. I think Bobby Wagner will be coming back, but I would like to try to get him off the field a little bit more. He was a little bit selfish last year. 99% of the snaps, he can't run like he used to. I said, come on, Bobby.
Now, let me ask y'all this, though, because I hear that. I hear that a lot. Do y'all really think Bobby don't want to come off the field, or do you think that it ain't just nobody who can displace Bobby? Let's be real.
Last year, Jordan McGee last year was getting first-team reps in camp. The injury happened in the preseason, and once he came back, he never got an opportunity to play deep into the season. So there was some high praise about Jordan McGee. Every analyst, every former Commander, Washington Redskins, whatever our name is at the time, every player was talking about how Jordan McGee had such a great grasp of what the defense, but unfortunately that injury during the camp hit him at the wrong time. So maybe he'll get a shot as well. I'm just saying, you always want to keep growing and get better at the position. What Bobby has done is great because we haven't had good linebackers in so long. But we can also see where we're deficient at times at the linebackers, because the linebackers are good when they're going forward. When they're going backwards, that's when we have some problems.
Yeah, I get it. Got the same issue with Anzalone from time to time. Same issue. But I don't think anyone behind him can do the job any better. And I think the coaches trust him the most. That's why he's out there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, every situation is different.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know folks like, Bobby got to come off the field. I just really feel like if the coaching staff really felt confident and comfortable with somebody behind them, they'll throw him out there. You know what I mean?
True.
He doesn't come off, and you guys know more than me. You know what I'm saying? He's playing in Washington. He doesn't come off as a me first guy. Like, I ain't coming off the field, or I gotta be. You know what I mean? So maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like, if there is a guy, maybe you guys grab somebody in either free agency or the draft, or, McGee comes along a little bit more to where, they feel confident in spelling him in those moments. I know I heard a couple folks that, they were ready to move on from Bobby. And I just think Bobby is his value goes beyond.
Spaces no more. This was exactly one. Don't be in spaces no more, guy. Hear nonsense like that.
I just think his value goes beyond what happens on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? He's a coach. He's an extension of the coach on the field. He's been playing in this scheme for, forever. He knows it probably front and back, and he's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? He's a professional that these young players probably need to see the work ethic that he puts in Monday through Sunday. So I think he brings a lot of value to that locker room. And yeah, we may need to get him off the field a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You guys need to get him off the field a little bit on those third and long situations, but keep him in the locker room for sure, because he's a positive influence, man, and a big reason why you guys made that next step.
Most definitely, man. Look at the time. It's
Done flew by. Ain't no game coming on. I don't know what to do. I gotta watch the scrubby NBA. The Lakers let me down. How they lose to Charlotte yesterday, man? How they lose to Charlotte, man? That's the script, man. How they supposed to lose to Charlotte?
I have no clue.
I just knew I was gonna open up my FanDuel, and I had picked games for the day. I said, "Oh, I know this Laker game in the bag. So I'm gonna got a nice little parlay." I said, "What's open? Nothing's open. Wait a minute. What happened? Settle. Lakers lost."
Man, I don't even watch the NBA, bro.
That's why the viewing is down. Nobody don't care no more.
Jesus Christ. I watch the playoffs again. You know what I'm
Just coming.
The Pistons and Cade. The Pistons and Cade may be there, baby. Give me a chance to believe again.
This is coming from a sheltered Wizards fan. I have no care in the world about the NBA.
Y'all got Middleton, right? That's supposed to be. Y'all got Middleton.
Middleton? Do you really want me to be impressed with Middleton?
He all-star, right? He was a former all-star.
This is my depressed Wizards voice. Like, are you serious right now?
You can do it. You can. Hey, listen. You can read it. You can be a permanent. You can be a permanent obituary reader with that voice.
His family was Poseidon. But look, man, that's all we got for y'all tonight, man. We're definitely gonna be back next week because it is the combine. Now I don't have, typically they tell us what days, what position group and stuff like that. We haven't gotten that yet, but we'll probably put a tweet out there or something. But we're gonna be talking about the combine. We're gonna talk about how important the combine is because Juice don't care about the combine.
It's important. It's important, man.
Our executive producer does not acknowledge the combine. That's a comment for another day. But we will be here next week as we get ready for the NFL combine. And there's going to be definitely the latest rumors talking about our GMs. We're going to be talking with other GMs about some potential moves we made in this 2025 offseason coming up. But it's your boy DT. We got Lady E. We got C. Henry. We will see you guys next week around this time, as it's always a pleasure to join us on the Red Zone DC Media channel. And it's always good to watch Enter the Lab podcast. Y'all have a great night, and y'all stay safe during this winter weather.
Stay blessed.